A vicious creature has appeared in the mountains of Korea. It attacks people and infects them with a terrible disease. This is the movie Monstrum. Get up the courage to watch it. King Jangjong became the new ruler of Korea at the beginning of the 16th century. At the time, there was a deadly outbreak of the plague in the country. Infected people were brutally slaughtered to prevent the spread of the disease. No women or children were spared, but one little girl escaped with her life. Besides the plague, Korea faces another grave problem. There is a terrifying beast in the mountains that preys on people. The king orders his soldiers to find and slay the monster. Here, we see two men hunting rabbits in the thick green forest. They are brothers Yoon Geom and Sang Han. The brothers go check their homemade traps, and Sang Han falls into one of them. A young girl comes up to them. Her name is Myung, and she is Yoon Geom's daughter. Then the brothers try to catch a fish, but they fail at that too. Myung is mischievous and pushes her father and uncle into the water. At home, the family cooks soup from the vegetables they have picked. Yoon Geom asks his daughter to bring some radishes. A stranger comes to their house. The girl draws her bow and demands the intruder to name himself. Then she accidentally shoots at him. Yoon Geom comes out of the house and tells the stranger to get out, but a few more king's guards come into the courtyard, and King Jangjong along with them. We find out that Myung is the girl who survived at the beginning of the movie. Many years ago, Yoon Geom came to King Jangjong with his daughter in his arms and accused him of being unjustifiably cruel. The man was immediately surrounded, but the king had mercy on his guard and ordered him to leave the place for good. We're back in the present day. King Jangjong tells Yoon Geom about the mysterious monster attacking people and asks the man to return to his service. The next morning, Yoon Geom packs his things and sets off with Sang Han and Myung. At the same time, a ritual ceremony to banish evil takes place at the foot of Inwangshan Mountain. The poor little girl takes this opportunity to steal some food from the baskets and plates. The village priestess suddenly stops the ceremony. She spots something terrifying among the trees, and in a second something is attacking people. Red splashes are everywhere, and the thief girl runs away in terror. Yoon Geom with his brother and daughter come to Hanyang City. They are having lunch at a local tavern, but they are interrupted by the king's guard. His name is Her, and he takes them to the place where the ritual ceremony took place yesterday. Yoon Geom examines the remains of the bodies and talks to witnesses, but the girl claims she saw hardly anything. Yoon Geom with his brother follows the girl. They see a strange man handing her a basket, then riding away on a horse. The basket is full of food, and the girl feeds the local hungry children. Yoon Geom blames the girl for lying, but she keeps saying that she didn't see anything. A wounded man appears on the street of Hanyang and shouts that he saw a monster. Within seconds, the man drops dead. Yoon Geom with his brother go to investigate and find another body. Another victim is somehow thrown into a tree. Meanwhile, Her and Myung examine the bodies at the local morgue. The girl admits that she's always wanted to be a doctor. They conclude that this monster has claws like an eagle, and also it infects its victims' bodies with poison that can infect others. They prove this with an experiment on a mouse. King Jangjong orders to gather the soldiers and sends them to the mountains to hunt down this dangerous monster. Yoon Geom must lead them. Men are taken right off the streets. Those who disobey the king's orders are punished immediately. Orders to hunt down the beast are hung on the walls. Yoon Geom gathers a group of hunters, but most of them are just villagers with pitchforks, old men and children. Myung, who wants to catch the monster, is also among them. Yoon Geom sends his daughter home, but at that moment, the Prime Minister comes along with his soldiers and orders the hunters to set off urgently. Armed hunters with dogs climb the mountain. They fail to find anything on the first day, so Yoon Geom orders them to keep searching even at night. At the same time, the king's guards led by Officer Jin Yong go hunting. The two units split up. An old man walks away from the group and falls into a gorge. Sang-han looks for him but finds a lot of bones and a lot of red stains on the rocks. Yoon-gyeom approaches him, as well as Myung with her. They spot the huge beast's footprints on the ground. Meanwhile, on the other side of the gorge, Jin-young forces some of the Yoon-gyeom's men down into the gorge to search the area and gives his soldiers the orders to attack the rest. And these are weak and hardly armed villagers. They're just being slaughtered. Once they're done with these poor people, the king's guards fire a flaming arrow into the sky and move on. Yoon-gyeom knows nothing about that. He tries to descend into the gorge and notices a signal light in the sky. Panic breaks out in his small group, and the man is urgently pulled upwards. But at that very moment, dozens of arrows fly at Yoon-gyeom's men. They're being attacked by the king's guards. Another slaughter starts. Myung grabs her bow, and her does everything he can to protect the girl. Yoon-gyeom finally makes it to the top and sees the terrible massacre. He gets in the fight, and we realize that he's the strongest warrior we've ever seen. Nevertheless, Sang-han is also a great warrior. Sadly, the forces are not equal, so only Yoon-gyeom, Sang-han, Myung and her are left alive. Yoon-gyeom orders his daughter and her new friend to run to the palace and tell the king everything. Meanwhile, the men get into close combat with the king's guards. They defeat all their enemies, but one of the soldiers wounds Sang-han with an arrow, and then the brothers are netted. Jin-young shows up with his men. It turns out that Myung and her didn't escape in time and were also captured. Jin-young claims that there is no monster and that his men are the ones who kill all the people in the neighborhood. At that moment, Myung recalls how 13 years ago, this very man took her mother's life. Jin-young pushes the captives into the gorge, and the bound her flies down with the girl. However, their rope clings to a rock ledge and they survive. Suddenly, a roaring sound comes from the gorge. A huge monster appears on the rocks. It attacks Jin-young's guards. The villain is horrified. He definitely didn't see that coming. Jin-young orders his men to shoot at the beast, but it's no use. The monster attacks them and scatters the bodies all around. The men don't stand a chance against it. However, a few of them escape, including Jin-young. Yoon-gyeom and Sang-han take the opportunity to free themselves from the nets and go down into the gorge. They find Myung and her friend there. They all seem to be in the beast's lair now. Soon, they hear some noises nearby, but it's only bats. They see the lost old man who first fell into this gorge. He insists that they do themselves with some kind of a liquid. This will help keep them from getting infected and attracting the beast's attention. They all hide between the rocks. The old man explains that the monster has poor eyesight but very good hearing. The monster descends into the gorge and feasts on the soldiers who have fallen down. It's followed by a juicy bird. Luckily, the monster doesn't notice people and goes to sleep, but when they try to escape, it wakes up and tries to attack Myung. Yoon-gyeom throws a stone at the monster and yells for his daughter to run away. They find a small tunnel among the rocks, run through it and jump into another gorge. Meanwhile, Jin-young tells the Prime Minister that the monster is real. He decides to slaughter even more people to spread fear in the capital and blame it on the monster. Numerous bodies are brought into town. The citizens are horrified. Wounded soldiers are covered with huge sores before their eyes. Jin-young orders to burn everything down to stop the epidemic. The citizens beg for the king's protection. Yoon-gyeom and all his family survive the fall. They move through a tunnel filled with water and realize that it is connected to the king's palace. An old man leads everyone to a basement cell and tells them that the former ruler was very fond of monsters. There are several cages here where various creatures have lived. The old man confesses that he used to guard all these creatures. One day, he met a little monster and named him Churon. Soon, the former king was overthrown and all the beasts were massacred. However, the old man saved Churon, and the little monster left through a secret passage. Suddenly, a loud roar sounds, and they urgently climb the stairs to get to the backyard. However, the old man stays underneath thief and tries to attract the monster with a toy. Chiron doesn't attack him. The old man lures the monster into a cage and then locks it. The furious creature immediately attacks his savior. The beast smashes the cage and starts chasing the rest of the people, but they manage to escape and get up to the king's castle. They tell the king what they saw on the mountain and in the dungeon. At the same time, the soldiers led by the prime minister burst into the castle. They wound King Jangjong and fight with Yoon-geom. Surprisingly, Jin-yong is also surrounded. Sang-han, Her and Myung are taken prisoner. Several king's guard are deprived of their lives. The prime minister ascends the throne and orders his men to kill Yoon-geom. At that moment, the castle begins to wobble. It's a monster! The soldiers rush at him, but what can they do against this monster? Yoon-geom and the king manage to escape. Meanwhile, Sang-han, Myung and Her pretend to be infected to get free of the ropes and attack their guards. The monster keeps on massacring everyone in the palace. Hundreds of flaming arrows fly at the monster, but even this cannot stop it. In the end, the monster is harpooned with ropes and tied to the pillars. The rebels seek out the king to take his life, but Yoon-geom gets in their way again. His brother and daughter as well as Her join Yoon-geom. The prime minister wants to slay the beast in front of the people to win their love. Except the beast has other plans. It soon bursts the ropes. Yoon-geom suggests setting a trap for the beast in the basement. Myung runs to close the gate to the palace. The prime minister tries to stop her, but people surround him, push him back and lock the gates. At that very moment, the beast appears and kills the villain. The beast is about to jump outside the castle gates, but it is distracted by the signal fire. It's Yoon-geom trying to save the people from being killed. While he tricks the monster to follow him, Sang-han and Her make a trap. However, the wounded Jin-yong gets in their way. Her tries to stop him, but Jin-yong is much stronger and throws him down the stairs. Yoon-geom finds his daughter. The two of them are now hiding from the beast. The man asks Myung to help set the explosive trap, and she immediately runs to the basement. Meanwhile, Sang-han fights Ying-jong. Sadly, the officer wounds him and Her, who runs up to him. Myung comes out and shoots Ying-jong with an arrow. Another villain is defeated. Yoon-geom risks his life to lure the beast into the basement. There, the beast falls into the trap. Everyone except Yoon-geom runs away. The man decides to sacrifice himself to kill the beast. He throws a burning torch into the crates with explosives. At dawn, people along with King Jangjong return to the castle. Myung looks for her father in the debris and finds him. The man was covered with slabs, thanks to which he survived. The people rejoice at their miraculous rescue. After a while, Myung marries Her, and her father and uncle hit the road again. Yoon-geom tells his brother that he flew aside on a thick rope at the moment of the explosion. That's how he managed to survive. Did you like this video? There is a lot of other awesome recaps on our channel, and they're waiting for you right now. Don't hesitate, it's free.